Welcome back to the Zeus Podcast. This is episode 11, Phunkee Frequencies. I'm your host, Zeus the Prophet, and not even the force of Mother Nature can stop it, but I can. I want to ground this space, as always, with a prayer to bless this audience, bless whoever's listening, to bless my guests. Heavenly Father, of the Father, of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Heavenly Father, thank you for this moment, this conversation and this connection. Bless this discussion. Bless our guests. Bless everyone listening, and let this conversation bring clarity, growth, healing, and inspiration to those who need it the most. In Jesus' name, amen. This episode is special because we are stepping into the journey of somebody who represents the art of music in its purest form. Connection through rhythm, patience through experience, and passion through sound. We are talking about Mary Panos, also known as DJ Phunkee, a respected Melbourne DJ known for bringing soul, funk, disco, house, R&B to dance floors across the city and across the nation with style and authenticity. Mary represents the true spirit of DJ culture, not just playing music, but understanding people and creating energy through sound. Welcome to the Zeus Podcast, Mary. I'm honored to have you. How are you?
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
That's great. Good to hear.
Mary, I wanted to begin at the very beginning because I like to do that with every guest. I like to find out who they are as a person, where they've been, their struggles, their origins, where they've come from, who and what shaped them to become the person that they are today. And in regards of your origins, so where were you born and what did your early world look like?
So I was born in 1971. I'm a 90s baby. I know people say, oh, no, you can't be in your 50s, but yes, I am. And I was born in Williamstown in Melbourne. And we were there for about 10 years, and then we moved to Sunshine. So I grew up in Sunshine and went to school in Sunshine, and then literally just got into music from a very early age. I think I was about 13 or 14. I used to listen to these radio stations, very, very underground stations where, you'd have to put the antenna up and, to get some coverage. It was very static. And then I would listen to radio stations like Triple R and all that, where they would go live from the clubs around Melbourne, and I would sit there recording and the usual thing with the cassettes and stuff. And I was really into that 80s funk sound, and that's when Midas Touch came out, and and the beat goes on by the Whispers. It was all that 80s stuff, and 80s is
I love the 80s music, Little Susie. My whole playlist is filled with the 80s music. Some of the best music came out in the 80s.
100%.
Some of the best movies came out in the 80s. It was such a great era.
Where I'm inspired by, like, my name obviously is DJ Phunkee, and I came up with that name because of the funk, and I wanted something that people can identify me with. Yeah, so when they think DJ Phunkee, they're like, oh yeah, she's into the funk, which I am, and that's clearly what I do. And basically, I kind of started with music at a very young age, where I would just see, it's really hard to explain, because now we go onto YouTube, or there's social media, and there's everything where you could learn and search for music. But back then we had magazines and stuff like that, where I would go into Central Station. They had like Beat Magazine and all that stuff, where they had the US top 10, the UK top 10, and I would search, and the way I would discover music, it's really funny, is that if I like the title of the song, I'll be like, oh, that sounds really cool. So I would try and search it, and I would order it on import, and then they were. Sometimes I had to wait 3 months just for a song to come, like imported, because it was like, I don't know if they had CD. I think it was first it was vinyl, obviously, but I don't know whether when I started ordering music, it used to be the CD singles back then, right? And sometimes I'd pay $25 for a CD single, but I didn't care because I loved the song so much, and you couldn't download it off anywhere, right? It's just
Yeah, absolutely. But I still listen. I still remember listening
tapes,
to music on tape.
absolutely.
On tape cassette. Like where you had to put the pencil inside
if
it
you
and
accidentally
rewind
cut
it.
you'd put some tape and put it together. And then when you play it
Oh
back,
yeah,
you'll be like,
yeah.
oh, there's a jump, like vinyl.
Yeah, there's nothing we can do about it, but
those
we
were
tried
the
our
days,
best.
I
So
home.
what
Okay, so
what did home feel like growing
Greek
up to?
background, and it was very, very strict. Yeah, not
Yes.
my mum, so more like my dad. Typical Greek fathers. So look, I did Greek. I am, yeah. So
Greek Orthodox,
I really
right?
wanted to get involved in music at a younger age,
Yep.
but my dad wouldn't allow it. He's like, no, music is for the men. It's for the boys, and I can't expose my daughter to do all that. So anyway, so then the way I
Yeah.
sort of got around that is I used to just listen to radio a lot, and I would request songs. There was WRBFM, there was all these stations, like from Sunshine, from my area. I don't know if you remember the Western nightclub market, whatever. So they had a radio station there, and I'd always tune in, and then I'd ask them to play certain music, and they're like, so who are you? I said, well, I'm Mary. And anyway, they knew me, Mary Panos. And Mary Panos always used to ring up and request all these funky tunes. And then I got to a point where they would contact me and say, look, Mary, geez, you know so much about music, and why don't you come in and guest star on our radio show? I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. So anyway, I won't even mention the DJs. It doesn't really matter. It's not important, but they would have me as guest DJ, and I would bring my music and pretty much showcase what I had found, back then. And it was, they were really interested in, how I got to know music just from just searching magazines and that kind of stuff, because it was very hard back then, as you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Of course.
so anyway, just after all that, time went past. I didn't actually get into DJing or anything because I still wasn't allowed. And then later on in life, I had gotten married, had 3 children. I still got my 3 children, but not the husband. and, but that's okay. I got 3 beautiful, healthy children, and
God
I'm
bless them.
blessed.
God bless them.
Yes.
You're saying they had a
last one
birthday
actually, yes.
recently,
Thank you. Thank
and
you
so
so
happy
much. My oldest is
happy
21,
birthday
my
to
son,
them.
and my daughter is 19, and I've got a youngest boy who is 11. So I'm blessed to have them. I truly am.
Oh wow,
And
wow. Well, I have
yes,
2 young ones. I think you met them before we started, and yeah,
of
my
course.
daughter's 10, going on 20, and my son is 8, going on
You
18. So
enjoy it. They
I know
grow
what you're
up
talking
fast.
about
They really do.
there.
They do.
Absolutely. So, what kind of family environment did you actually grow up in?
Well,
How was the
oh, it was
family
actually
life
great. I've got
at
great
home?
memories of growing up. We had, the local milk bars where
Yeah.
we'd ride our bikes and get our 20-cent pack of
Yes.
mixed
Yes.
lollies. We choose
With
everything.
with the
cigars,
Redskins
Yeah,
as
no,
well,
you
which
can't.
you can't say that word anymore. You know what I mean? They've
So
cancelled the word Redskins. Like
Oh, yeah,
half our childhood is
so
gone.
true. And I
Yeah.
miss that. I truly miss that. Just getting on the bikes and riding to the milk bar, and just literally getting out there and making most of the day. I mean, we would stay out even till it's, before dark, before we had to go to bed, ready for school the following day. We didn't care about TV. It was all just about getting out there, being active. And it's a shame, kids don't, or most don't experience that now. It's really changed. But, I guess, things, generation, things change, and life. And
No, of course, Yeah, I remember going to the fish and chip shop, and back in the 80s, mind you, and I had this one fish and chip shop near our house in Brunswick East, and he's a Greek fellow, very nice man, but he used to, like, how sauces these days, you gotta buy a packet of sauce for like 50 cents. Back then, I'd ask him, could you just spray it with a bit of sauce on top? He'd grab the bottle, he'd spray it everywhere. You know what I mean? He'll say, nah, no worries. Then he didn't never charge us for none of that. It was the good old times. You could leave your windows and doors unlocked. No one would bother you. No one would, you know what I mean? Like, it was a different era, a different time. Well, crime was always there, but, like, there was a code, among the crimes. There was a code, there was an ethic, there was a bit of honor among thieves back then. But slowly, it kind of eroded away. But in regards to how were you like at school, how were you like, what was your favorite subject, like those kind of things. We want to know the person behind the artist.
I am really hands-on with everything. I was an A+ student at school. I loved maths. I didn't really like English much, but I was really into textiles and art and science, just getting in there and doing things with my hands. And anyway, in textiles, I was so good. I mean, the teacher was like, wow, Mary, like, so impressed with you. And anyway, I did eventually leave year 11, even though I passed with flying colours. I just had no interest to do year 12 because I knew at the end of year 11, I knew I wanted to do something, and it wasn't DJing, even though I love music. I actually went and did a fashion designing course, and I got a diploma in fashion designing, dressmaking, pattern making, and then for the next 20 to 25 years, I was actually a fashion designer. So, yeah. So that's
nice. I like that. That's beautiful.
And therefore, I think still being hands-on, with my DJing, you need to know how to use your fingers when you're doing things, And sometimes you use your brain, but I like to,
Absolutely.
So I guess that worked in my favour in a way.
So what sounds do you remember most from your childhood?
Music.
As in, like, like what things that meant something to you. It's like when I remember growing up back in the 80s. I remember when the ice cream truck used to come past. You can hear him a mile away. Like what kind of sounds? Like, did anything specific pop out in regards to music? When you heard it, what kind of feeling did it give?
As far as sounds, of course, everyone remembers the ice cream truck. We used to run down the street. We all
of
another
course.
thing, it was like, even just riding the bike, so the bell, that, you'd hear kids go, oh, the kids are out, so we'd grab our bikes and jump on and start riding with them, because, everyone knew each other, back then, and it was just so much fun. It was really good. But
so, was music already a part of your life back then,
again,
or did it come
I
later?
discovered the radio, and I probably was in grade 6 or so, and then it was, as I said, it was just listening to the radio back then, and I was just really into that Black American soul funk sound, disco, and and I remember, like, I made a mixtape and I brought it to school, and everyone was because there wasn't many Europeans then, really, and I'd bring it and they were like, what is this, Mary? What music is this? And I'm like, this is what you call funk. And they're like, what is that? So I had to educate them. Yeah, so I would bring in a tape and would have artists like Alexander O'Neill. And I'd listen to Janet Jackson, like from her first album, Control. And then, you know, it was artists like, again, Midnight Star was like pretty much a group that I still love to this day. And then I just, John
Farnham,
you know, it was something that I was really different because of that. You know, they'll be like, oh look, Mary knows her music, but we're just not into her music because she's into too much of this American stuff, right? And I like this Australian music, and I'm like, oh, that's cool, that's cool. But anyway, it's funny because we've had our high school reunions and everything, because I'm a class of 89. And we've had reunions where they've asked me to DJ, and I'm playing all the 80s music, and now they're loving it. It's funny because back then they didn't listen to it, but now they do, which is kind of sad. Well, I tried to.
Well,
anyway.
you introduced them to it, you know, so... So you're the originator, you know, in a sense.
The only DJ from my high school that came out of, you know, Sunshine, Ardea High School I went to, by the way. Oh, okay, so
shout outs to Ardea High School.
Was literally just around the block to where I lived. Now, funny thing, I couldn't even walk. My dad was that strict. I couldn't even walk to school. He had to drive us. It was like 2-minute drive. Yeah.
Oh wow! Yeah. Of course, you know, being you know, his daughter. Of course, I understand with my daughter as well.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm protective over my daughter the same way, but I try not to be too overprotective. You know, let him live. Let him. You know, I want her to be independent as well, and I want her to have.
Absolutely,
I don't want her to rebel against me. It's pretty much what I'm saying. The more I try to, like protect her, the more the chance that she rebels against me. So I try to like give her as much space, much freedom as possible. You know, but also maintaining that fatherly protective role too. That's important. You understand?
Yeah. No, that's Kate.
So did.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I didn't really get to see my dad much growing up. He was very strict, as I said, but the only reason I didn't see him much is because he had a family business with his brothers, and he was working like honestly, either 24 hours in a day. He'd work 18 hours. He'd come home to sleep for about 4 hours and do it all over again. He did that for a good 10 years straight. The life, like I think about now, I could never do that. Kids today, the generation, they don't know what hard work is. My dad had hard work. My mum didn't have to work at all. My dad did it all. So she was lucky, right? I mean, now you got the women working, the husband, the wife, and both partners.
Yeah, well, you know how it is with the increase of the cost of living, the increase of petrol, the taxes, all that kind of stuff. It's very hard. Now, you know, both parents have to work in these days. And back then, you know, like I remember when bus tickets were like 40 cents and 60 cents and stuff, you know. So the cost of living was much easier back then. So, so do you have any siblings?
2 sisters. So the oldest is my brother. Do I have to say the age? Yeah. My brother.
No, you don't have to. No,
a year later is my other sister. Then 8 years later is my other sister, and then my youngest brother, 10 years after me, is So it's fun. Yeah, a bit of a gap.
Wow, so there's a bit of a gap between
there's a reason
you and your younger ones.
So firstly, like my dad, having boys carry the name and that, you know, typical Greeks, and so.
Of course.
The first
and
one
typical
was
Lebanese too. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
You know. So I'm Lebanese myself. You know, so I know how it is.
My brother was born, and they're like, my dad goes, "All right, we'll try again." Then it was me, and we try again. Then it was my sister, and I tried again. It was my other sister, and my mom goes, "That's it." And my dad goes, one more, one more. So, lucky my brother popped out.
Hold on, one more.
5 kids later. And my mum's like, that's it.
Oh,
So
nice.
yes.
Nice, nice. Well, God bless them. I hope they're
Yeah.
yeah tuning in when this comes out, and hope they
Yeah.
can get some good smiles out of it, and
Yeah.
some good like
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, some good memories out of it too. So let me ask you, who influenced you the most
Okay.
growing up?
Both actually, as if I will say my mother and my father, for two reasons. So my mother,
Mm,
she's got a heart of gold. She is a person that,
yeah.
if you like today, she doesn't drive, she doesn't smoke, she doesn't try to cigarette, she doesn't. She only just recently learned how to use a mobile phone. She's so old school, right? Because my dad literally did everything. So my mum was there cooking, cleaning,
Mm,
being the most beautiful, loving, supporting mum anyone could wish for. And I
mm,
have a lot of
absolutely.
respect for my mum. I love my mum dearly, like most people do. Yeah, she
Of
is
course.
just,
Now
she's
that's
got a
very
heart of
sweet of
gold.
you.
She doesn't fight with anyone, she doesn't swear, she doesn't do none of that. And if you sit there, even if she
Yeah,
meets
of
you for the
course.
first time, she will talk to you for hours and hours. She'll tell you her whole life story, her upbringing, when she arrived in Australia and everything. She's just the most beautiful soul.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
That's
really.
very
Thank
rare
you,
these
thank you.
days. Like God
So
bless her.
then there's my dad, which
God
is
bless her.
also a big inspiration. He's very
Mm.
into work and literally from nothing creating something. He's been a huge role model,
Mm.
and a lot of women are kind of scared to to start business and do things like that. They don't have the confidence. Where I look at my dad, I'm
Mm.
like, look, my dad's my inspiration. I literally was working for my dad in family business from the age of 15, and this is what gave me hope, courage, the drive to also do what I'm doing like now as a DJ. Even though he was strict and all that, it doesn't
Mm.
matter because so many years later, I'm not your little girl anymore, Dad. I came
Right.
up with decisions for myself, and this is the decision I made. And
Of
in the
course.
beginning, he was like, "What are you doing?" I said, "Listen, Dad, I can do this. I need to do this for myself." And eventually, he accepted it, and he's
Mm.
he's supportive and loving in every way. In every way. I mean, everyone struggles in life, in time,
Of
financially,
course.
mentally, and all that. And my dad has always been there from day
Of
one.
course.
And I love it.
Mm. So those are the
Absolutely.
kind of values that shaped you as a person.
Absolutely.
It's
So,
from your mum
they've
and your dad.
supported me. Never had to
Wow,
pay
that's
for
that's very
anything
profound.
growing up. Never said, okay, you're 18 now, get out of here. You can do your own thing. Us Europeans, we help our
Right.
children. Doesn't matter how old they are. And that's how I am with my children. They can stay with me as long as they want. I'm not one to say, all right, out you go. As long as you're ready, to leave,
Right.
get your feet on the ground, and I'll support you to the end.
Right. You can
Yeah,
stay in a nest as long as you like. When your wings are fully functional and
absolutely,
you're ready to go, I'll help you fly out. But
absolutely.
as long as you know
Always.
that the door's always
Yeah,
open,
that's how my parents are with me,
you
and
know,
that's how I'm with my
that's
children.
beautiful thing. Mm. That's kind of how I am with my kids as well. How I'm kind of
Yeah,
like showing them their independence as well, but they always know they can. The door's always going to be open for the rest of their life. If they want to stay at home, they can stay at home. If they want to fly
absolutely.
up and
Yeah.
do their own thing, that's possible too. You know, like give them options. That's very profound. I appreciate you saying that. Did you always feel? Did you always feel comfortable being
Well, I
yourself?
was very shy growing up. Being like, as not many
Mm.
Europeans in high school, and they would call me Wog, and, you know, tease me, and because I'm, as a Greek, I'm fair,
Right.
like fair with blue eyes, and I was the outcast. But yeah, so I was the outcast.
Same
and
here.
I did lose a lot of friends. I did build up a nice group of friends, and there was a time in school where they had all become rebellious, and they'd all be smoking or wagging school, and I was so scared, you know, from my dad. I would never do that, and I think once I took a day off, and my dad found out, and that was all over. It was all over. It was like, oh my God.
So
First
Paul
time,
was
because
like, couldn't
I had
understand
peer
it.
pressure, and my friends would say, oh, come on, Mary, you're such a nerd. You don't do
Right.
anything. You don't smoke, you don't drink, you don't do anything. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to do it. And I never did, mind you. It doesn't matter. Everyone got pressured into smoking. Still to this day, I've never smoked in my life. I've never taken drugs in my life. I haven't even tried it, and I have no intention of trying it. You know, being in the and now I'm happy.
Probably
that my
better off
dad,
without it,
I used to
yeah.
think, Dad, why are you so strict on me? You never let me go to a party. But I'm actually blessed that he brought me up like that, because I understand now, you know, and if I had gotten into drugs or smoking, I probably would not be where I am today. And, you know, a lot of people my age
God bless.
look way older than me as well. And I do believe that prevention is better than cure. So don't start it, you know, and that way
Prevention, exactly.
you've got your health, and there's nothing. I've never been unhealthy in my life. I've been blessed, thank God, you know. I've been blessed to have a healthy life, and my parents are the contributors to that. I really believe. Yeah.
Beautiful. God bless you. That's a beautiful way to be, you know. Now, I want to get to the next part of where we talk about identity and life journey. So, who is Mary Panos behind the DJ booth?
Actually, very down to earth, very fun loving. I love meeting people. I used to be an introvert, but I feel like I've turned into an extrovert because of the music. I've become like that because being a DJ has, you know, I want to educate people. I decided to, because of the 80s, and, you know, I wanted to teach people about it, yeah? So
Right.
you know, everything today is literally sampled from the 80s. Whatever you hear, you've got Snoop Dogg, Tupac, you're all sampling the 80s, you know, sound. Zap, and Parliament.
Yeah, I
and
realized
just
that.
Literally everything. And there's the music today is, we all know it's nothing like it was back in the days. And I do like to educate, and I think my passion it does show through my music and in what I do. I mean, you know, funk, it's sort of actually getting out there now. It wasn't as popular, say, 10 years ago. I know when I started DJ, which is actually probably going on to 10 years now. So, I know people ask, oh, how long you been DJ for? Okay, so 9 to 10 years, around there. And I'm self-taught. I literally picked it up immediately. I brought myself just a 2-channel mixer, a CDJ 1000s, I think they were with CDs, and
turntable, yeah.
And after about 3 months of practicing, I got my first gig at a club, and it was R&B. It was an R&B night, a New Jack Swing night, and with really high DJs in Melbourne that've been DJing for, you know, a couple of decades at the time. And I think that gave me inspiration to, like, okay, look, I love the R&B, the 90s. Yeah, I was full-on fan, but the reason I stuck with the 90s R&B when I first started DJing, because it was in demand, and people are still loving and listening to that. And after a while, I thought, oh, do you know what?
Mm.
I need to get into the 80s. That's where my heart is and my passion is. So I changed. I used to be known as DJ Mary Panos, and then I changed to DJ Phunkee because I kind of wanted to change my identity and say, look, I don't
Okay.
really deal with R&B as much. I still do it by all means, but I really wanted to
Right.
educate people with the 80s sound, and I want people to look at me and think, okay, she does the funk. We know who to book if we need a funky DJ. Yeah, so yeah.
Absolutely. You know, that's why I call this episode
That's pretty cool.
Phunkee Frequencies.
Well, it was
You
inevitable
know?
for me to be here.
I like to give. It was divine alignment, you know, divine alignment. So let me ask you, what strengths did you discover in yourself over time, having done this
Okay, so
this work you put in for the
it is
last
a
10 years?
male-dominated industry, and I found, strangely enough, that you get a lot of flack from the other male DJs. I'm expecting other females to be like that, but you know, yeah, it's threatened by a
Other
female.
males,
I don't understand that, but anyway, there. Well,
You must be doing
well, you know
something
what,
right. That's
the
what that
thing is,
means.
when I hear negativity, it actually builds me. I turn that negativity into positivity. So it gives me the strength and courage to go further. Because, you know, they say if you're successful, that's when people start talking. And I must be doing something right. So I just
Absolutely.
like to listen to the positive things and just ignore the negative. It's just pointless. There's already negativity in the world. We don't need it. There's plenty of that.
There's plenty of negativity, and we don't need no more of it, you know? Absolutely, you know, like that's why I feel as though, you know, like talking to you, I feel the positive
yeah.
vibes just bouncing off you, you know? And I'm sure my audience can feel that too. You know, you're such a, you know, positive,
Thank you.
happy-go-lucky
Yeah,
character.
yeah.
You know, that's wonderful to see, you know. But let me ask you, Mary, what keeps you grounded
Look,
in
you know, I
life?
have to say my children. I absolutely love and adore my children. They are my strength. Everything I do is for my kids.
Yeah.
I absolutely adore them. And they are actually inspired by myself as well. Music is something that it's healing. It's something that we all listen to every day. We hear sounds, whether it's a bird whistling or a car, you know, doing a burnout. There's always sounds in our ears. So now, my kids are actually in a group, by the way. They've really been inspired by my music knowledge, and it's funny because my oldest son is 21 and my daughter is 19, and they're listening to stuff from the 70s, 80s, stuff, disco stuff that I listen to. And really inspired by that, which I love. You can hear it in their music. They've got that Jimi Hendrix sound going, and they're like a rock band, but like you hear Jimi Hendrix, he's sort of like funky rock, yeah. So you know, they love all genres. I mean, just like I do.
Absolutely, the same as my kids as well. I put on something from the '80s, like Little Susie or something. They start mobbing, they start, you know, like they start flexing to it. So I'm like, Daddy, you got the mojo as well. I like
they
that.
do
you
get
know?
inspired
You got
by us. They
you know,
truly
that's
do.
I appreciate that. They do, you know, like they work with me when I do my music, when I write my music, you know, when I'm about to rehearse for a show, they rehearse with me. They know my lyrics word by word,
That's
off by heart,
great.
every one of my tracks, and they actually have speed competitions to see who can
That is
say the lyrics the
great.
fastest, you know. And you know, so they inspired by us, of course. We're
Absolutely. But we
shaping
are their
their
teachers,
minds, you know, like
aren't
you
we?
know,
Yeah.
we are their teachers, you know, but we got to also teach them, you know, about the good side of what we do and also the bad side about what we do. in regards to exposure, in regards to how many, or how much evil people there are out there, and what to watch for, and what to look for, and when to recognize good people, when to recognize light workers. It's all a struggle. And they're smart enough
They
to
are. Oh, they're
to
smarter than what
understand.
we were when we were young. They know
They're
so
smart
much.
enough to
They've
understand.
got it. Just-
And plus they're
oh,
the
yeah.
the 2.0 version.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
So they're the
Oh,
better
they're going to
version
be
of us.
scientists by the time they're our age.
So what gives? Yeah. That's amazing. God bless them. What
Peace.
gives you peace outside of
Honestly,
music, bro?
I just love to stay home, spend time with my kids, cook nice meals, make desserts. Yeah, just chill at home. Go for a walk.
Yeah.
Do a little bit of a workout. Really
No,
not
it's
too much.
beautiful.
Just,
Uh, So, uh, so maybe, I'll ask you
balance.
then. What does balance look like for you?
Physically
Yeah.
or
Now you know what I mean. How do you balance,
yeah,
your DJ
yeah.
work with your
Well,
personal
you
life?
need to
You know,
look.
how
You
do you
do
have
need
that
to
good,
make
good,
time
good
for
work-life
everything.
balance?
Life is hectic. I do get extremely busy sometimes. It's just you have to
Mm.
prioritize. You really need to make time for everything. I mean, my son gets homework, and I try to make time for him. If not, I've got my eldest kids, which is great, so they do come in handy. Yeah, look, honestly, it's just something you don't even think about it. You just do it. Just every day I wake up and I'm like, okay, I got to do the washing, I got to do the cooking, I got to do the cleaning, I got to download some music, I got to prepare a playlist for this
Yeah.
gig, and I just do it. And I don't even make a list. My list is in there.
Mm.
I know what I got to do, and I just
Yeah.
do it how I see it. Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, what lessons did life teach you before DJing became serious?
Lessons. All right. So
We're getting deep into it
it's
now.
getting harder.
No, we're gonna come up to the fun section soon, but I want to. Well, we want to know, like my audience and I, we want to know what the inner workings of you are. What makes you so great? Because, to me and many others like me, you are great. You're a great human being. You're a great person, a great mother. I want to know, like, yeah, what lessons did life teach you before you jumped onto
Well,
the DJing circuit?
life is not easy. Life is hard. You do
Mm.
go through struggles. Every day is a blessing, and you get challenges in life, and it's how react to them. Sometimes I am a very forgiving person. I guess I've learnt patience because I've been so forgiving. And some people say, "Oh, Mary, I don't know
Mm.
how you cope with this and that." And then the way I see it is like, if someone is going to be mean to me, or if things just you just don't get along with people, because you can't get along with everyone. We're all different, right? And yeah,
Mm.
so
No,
it's just
of
how
course.
you deal with it. And I'm not, if I get negativity, I'm not going to allow that person to win and bring me down. So the way I deal with it is just, okay, all right, that's your opinion, you deal with it. I'm not going to let that negativity bring me down. And so I've just learned to be patient. I think, again, because of my mother, she's so patient, and that's why I said my parents are so special to me, and they are truly my inspiration.
That's
And
right.
I think if it wasn't for them, I probably wouldn't be so patient and forgiving. My mum is the most forgiving person. People would literally put her down and bag her when she was growing up,
Right.
and she's like, yeah, it's so one year at the other, and she'll deal with it. And yeah, Yeah,
Yeah, it's
that,
alright.
yeah,
She was
yeah.
confident in
So
herself. She knew herself. She didn't
that's
need no
right.
outside
That's
validation
right.
because she came
And
from a very
I
rough
think
place. You know.
that's given me a lot of strength, knowing that I can do that, and because my mum did teach me that, and I think if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be so grounded and the person I am today, I guess. Yeah.
So was there a moment when you realized music would be part of your your life long
Look, I
term?
always had it in me. I always had it, but since I started DJing, I I have just fallen in love all over again. Because there was that gap where I was doing my focusing on my fashion designing, and then once I stopped all that and got into the music, it was like, oh my, like wow, how did I just ignore it for the last 20 years or so? And I have just
Yeah,
fallen in love with it all over
yeah.
again. I think it, I live it, I breathe it. I'm always thinking, oh, geez, I've got so many hot remixes of all these tracks, but there's a certain song I don't have, and then I'll search for it and try and find it. I, I do spend a lot of time searching music, good quality music, and hopefully people see that in my sets when I play, yeah, and I perform. So, yeah.
Do you remember the first time you saw a DJ
Oh,
set and felt
okay.
inspired?
When I
How
first
old
saw
were you?
another DJ
Or,
playing a set, yeah, okay. Well, it was actually just
yeah.
on social media when I first saw Roger Sanchez, because he plays with four decks, right? And he just does his magic, and I looked at him like, oh, my God,
Amazing.
this is insane. And he's got like, something on loop, and then he's got something else playing here, and then he's got extra beats on there, and I'm like,
Right,
oh,
and he's listening to the
he's
next beat
always,
as
and
well,
then
and how he can
obviously
mix it up with the timing. Oh,
doing his mixing and messing around with everything, and I'm like, oh, such an inspiration, and he's absolutely incredible as a DJ. So, yeah, I'd love to. But,
what
oh,
what
you know
what year
what?
was
Like I
that?
said, I
Do you
only sort of
remember?
just got back into it about 10 years ago. So, honestly, it could have been around 8 years ago. And obviously, Roger Sanchez has been around for a long time, but I wasn't searching and looking and,
Right.
watching videos or anything like that. So, since going back to the DJing industry and on social media, everything's things come up. You follow all these DJs, things come up, and it came up, and I was like, oh, geez, this is
Absolutely.
so inspirational, and yeah, it just makes you want to
Nice.
become a really good DJ, because it's like the way I see it is sometimes you don't have to be the most skillful DJ. It's what you play. You need to be able to read the crowd. You need to be able to get people on the dance floor. That's what it's all about. Because it doesn't matter how skillful you are, if you don't play the right
That's what
tunes,
it's all about.
the people are going to say, oh, she's not a good DJ. She's not good. It's only because I'm not playing the right tunes, because I'm not reading the crowd. So, yeah, music knowledge is extremely
Right, I think
important.
that's very important, of course. You know, for all those up and coming artists who want to get into the field as well, just take notes. These are like gold nuggets she's given you here. So please take notes. You got to be able to make the
Absolutely.
crowd move. You got to be able to
Well,
read the crowd,
that's
get them
absolutely correct.
dancing. You
80%
know, um,
of a DJ is knowing your music.
mm,
Anyone can learn how to press buttons. That's the easy part. The hardest part is reading the crowd and
mhm,
knowing your music. Like you play a track and you're like, oh yeah,
right.
next track you're queuing it up and oh yeah, this track same key. Yeah, it'll go well. So see, as DJs, knowing your music, you know what to play next, right? So it's really
Mm,
important. Absolutely.
beautiful. Beautiful. That's very valuable. Thank you. Do you remember your
Yeah,
first set of equipment?
yes. So it was, I think it was Pioneer DJM 350 two channel, and my CDJs were Thick CDJ 100, 1000, sorry, 1000s. I do have turntables as
Okay.
well, but I don't really do much vinyl mixing. I do vinyl mixing. I
Mm,
have records. I've been collecting vinyl since 1989, and yeah, but really, there's
right.
not much demand for vinyl DJing. I feel digital DJing. What's
Right.
it's here. It's something we all, yeah. You go into a club, everything's
Absolutely.
digital. So, and it's easy. You just
Absolutely.
grab your USB, chuck it in, and that's it. You don't have to carry crates and all that. Yeah.
Like
Credit
the old
to all the
days,
vinyl
right?
DJs.
You know.
So much respect for them. They are the ultimate. I
Mm,
still prefer a vinyl DJ over a digital DJ. Not knocking digital DJs because that's what I am, but honestly,
no, no, of course, but you're also giving
absolutely.
respect to those as well from the old school, and that's so important. I think that's what makes you you, is that you recognize that those were the artists, the DJs, who
Absolutely,
paved the
yeah.
way for us to
That's right. It's
do
only
what we do.
technology the reason
You
why
know,
we got the USB and the
yeah,
laptop, thing going on. Otherwise, yeah, that's right. Otherwise,
it's because
honestly,
of
there
that.
wouldn't be as many
Mm,
DJs out there at the moment because it's not easy to be a vinyl DJ. It's an art, and it's
right.
truly the most remarkable thing watching a vinyl DJ mixing. It's the most beautiful things to watch.
Wow.
Mm.
You know. So, do you remember who helped you early on when you first started DJing? Was there anyone specific that helped you
Well,
cultivate
well,
your
yeah. I won't
career, your
mention,
DJing
you know,
skills?
a few, but look, I did reach out to a few people and ask them like certain things, giving me tips and so forth. Because being self-taught, it's not something that you just jump on and you know what to
Mm,
do. Um, there's only so many things that you can teach, but there are people that reached out to me, and there are I obviously reached out to others and asked, look, what does this
mhm.
button do, or what does that button do? Uh, but yeah, and
Of
there
course,
are a few people that had passed on. God rest their soul, that they passed away, that taught me a few things. Yeah, and
God rest their
it's
soul.
something that you don't forget. Once you learn something, it sticks with you, and I am so blessed for those who taught me what I know right now. And again, it's all just the more you play, the better you become at it. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. It's like with everything else. You live and you learn. You know, the more you have life experience, the more you can navigate through things.
that's
You know, it's like that with everything. So, so you told me where the DJ name came from, DJ Phunkee, because you're always a bit funky and you liked
yeah.
your funky records back from the '80s as well. But what was your
Yeah,
first real gig
yeah,
like?
it was actually
Can you
incredible.
share that?
So, it was. Can I name the venue or? Yeah,
Yeah, of course.
yeah.
This is
Okay,
the Zeus podcast.
yeah.
You can do pretty much
Okay,
whatever you
so
like on this podcast. You know, this podcast is to honor you, the person behind the artist. You
thank
know,
you.
so this
Yeah.
is all about you today. You can,
So
you
my
know, say
first
whatever you want.
venue gig was at Jackson's Bar, Turek, and it was an R&B set, and I still remember quite a few tracks that I played. Yeah, I played Jodeci.
Right.
I played Beverly Knight. I don't know if you know all
Yeah,
these
for
artists, but
sure.
really, really great tracks. And I was amongst a lineup of other DJs that have been in the industry for decades. And when they first heard my set, and I killed it, by the way. But when I first, yeah, they were like,
I'm sure you
wow.
did.
Like, I was so blown away by my set, and my feedback was incredible. I had heaps of my friends attending my first gig, and they were like, "Mary, you smashed it," and it just honestly inspired me to just keep going. It was truly the most amazing feeling being up there, because the Jackson's Bar, you're on a stage, right? I was a little bit, I was nervous and stuff, but there were times I was nervous, as soon as I jump up, but as soon as I just hit play, my first track, and then I just get into it, that's it. The nerves just disappear. Yeah.
Of course. It's like that with anything as well. Before I get on the stage, I do hip hop as well. So, every before I perform, like it hits every real artist the same way, Like if anyone tells you that they don't get nervous before a set or before a stage, they're full of shit, straight up. Like we're all human, we all go through that. You know what I mean? Especially when there's a lot riding on the, especially when like there's people who have paid money to come and see you. Do you know what I mean? Like things like that. Like there's just a certain expectation, and we're human. We feel those nerves. I'll be lying to you if I didn't say I wasn't. A little bit nervous before I get on stage. But as soon as I get on that stage, as soon as you hit those decks, you know what I mean? Boom, you're in your element. You're ready to rock and roll. You go straight into it.
We all know,
that's
like,
a beautiful
the
thing.
King of Pop, Michael Jackson. He'd always get nervous on stage before he gets on stage. He jumps on stage and greatest performer of all time.
Right.
I mean,
artist of the millennium.
MJ.
I remember listening to Michael Jackson back in the 80s, but like having to get the cassette tape and rewind that shit.
Off the wall. It's one of the greatest albums of all time. Greatest disco albums of all time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So how did you how did it feel standing behind the decks? Let me ask you, did you play interstate internationally yet? You would have been gone around Australia first.
So, no, I don't do international only because of my children. I do have my young one, and he's very attached to me, and I could never leave him. So I'm okay to be DJing Melbourne, and
of course
done, almost all the clubs in Melbourne. Or I won't say that. I'm sorry. I've done quite a few clubs. I've done bars. I've done private gigs, and I love what I do.
Yeah.
And corporate, and I'm happy
corporate
with
events.
what I'm doing. I will not complain. I've worked with international DJs. I've worked with one of the, two of the biggest DJs in the world, and two of my favorite DJs. And I always had a dream that I want to DJ with these DJs, and I actually fulfilled my dream. So
wow.
Absolutely, yeah.
Can you share who they
DJ,
are?
Producer, Dr. Packer, Soul Funk Disco King, incredible. His remixes, he does it all. Anyway, I got to live my dream over a year ago. DJ'd at the Emerson, and it was twice I actually got to DJ with him. So did the warm up with him, because I also DJ as a duo. Apart from working solo, I have as I work as a duo as well, called Disco Freaks. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with Disco Freaks.
That's a beautiful thing.
So we both got to support DJ Packer, and one was at Point Leo Estate as well, and as I said before, at the Emerson. And that was just phenomenal. And after the set, he came up to us and said, wow, you did it amazing. And like, you know, hearing that from, you know, someone that I admire and love, and like,
Of
it was
course,
the
of
world
course.
to
That's
me.
the
Yeah.
world. That means the world to you.
And on the same night
Mm.
at the Emerson was DJ Spen. Now, DJ Spen is disco house DJ, been doing it forever. So we got to support him as well, which was phenomenal. It's something that, you know, I can, you know, put in my bio and say, you know what, Mary, have you lived your dream? I actually have. What I do now is everything just seems like, you know, like it's just, I don't even know how to explain it. It was surreal. It really was. And, you know, yeah.
Wow.
And I have actually gotten
That's a good
to
way to
work
put
with
it.
other international DJs as well, which has been amazing. So apart from them, there's been DJs from Italy and Melbourne DJ, Sergeant Slick and John Course, and you know, it's been
Wow, wow. And I'm sure if you ever got an offer to go overseas and
you
do
know
a
what?
major
That's
event,
right.
you'd take your kids with you. That's something I would do, you know, like just
Make
bring
it
them along,
into
you know.
a trip, yeah, a holiday, yeah, definitely.
You know, go on a road trip and go see
yeah.
some
I
sights and some
probably
sounds,
would, yeah.
you know.
It's just one of those
Absolutely.
things that, you know, I just, it hasn't come to me yet. If it does, then I have to think about it. I haven't really thought about it. I'm pretty happy to even just be DJing and working as a DJ and being consistent and yeah, doing something that I love. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. So why do you think disco and funk still move
Okay,
people
so
decades later?
disco is probably the best music in the world. House comes from disco. All R&B, funk, all that. Everyone's inspired by the disco sound. Everything, all the music today is all inspired, believe it or not, by disco and funk and soul. And it's all like 70s, 80s, soul, funk and disco that everyone is literally sampling today. And yeah. And
Trying to
honestly,
emulate.
just the greatest sound. And you can't even replicate it. And I feel like people have run out of ideas. They don't have any ideas anymore. They're just going back to the Oscars because that was the greatest music of all time. It really was. And
Of course.
I guess,
Of course. You know?
it's timeless as well. You listen to it now, and it still sounds fresh. Sometimes I hear music from the 80s, and I think, God, like Off the Wall, for argument's sake. Like you listen to even the track, the self-titled track, and you're like, oh, every time you put it out, you're just never sick of it. Just like Shaka Khan, Ain't Nobody. It's just something that just hits you, and it's timeless. Oh.
It's a certain type of frequency that makes it timeless, you know. That's why I called this episode Phunkee Frequencies, because this episode will be timeless, you know. People will look back at it years from now and they're going to say, you know, this is what makes disco, funk, soul so beautiful and timeless, is because it came from that era where it was timeless, and, you know, decades later people are still grooving to it. You know, they say that disco is dead.
No, it's not dead.
You know,
It's
but I don't
well
really
and truly
believe that.
alive.
You know?
Really, and if it isn't, I'm not sure it stays alive.
That's a beautiful thing. You know, so in your opinion, Mary, what makes a great
right.
DJ?
So it's all about, you know, I believe you got to have really good taste, right? Now, stick to a certain genre. If you like that genre, focus on that, because sometimes, I mean, everyone can be an open format DJ. You do your parties and, you know, you just cater for their needs, but it's not the passion when you're just playing songs because that's what they want to hear. So myself, being that funk DJ, when I play funk, like you can tell that it's my passion, and I'm playing and I'm loving it, and you shine and you play better as well when you're playing music that you love. Yeah, you just shine.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, of course.
So I think that stick to the genre, and you'll shine. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And you said something very important before. It's like
Oh,
being able to read the crowd, you know? I think I want to
yeah.
sort of more get into it and define it a bit more. So how
This
do you
is
read
how
the
I
crowd?
read the crowd. So look, there's two ways to go about this. Now, if you're booked for a certain, gig where they say to you, "All right, Mary, this is an R&B night. You know that you're going to play R&B, so the crowd is already there. So you don't really have to try
Right.
much, right? But still, in saying that, there's R&B and there's R&B. And when I say that, there's commercial R&B and there's underground R&B. So I love underground
Underground,
R&B, but it's
right.
very hard to drop that because people are not familiar with it, right? So sometimes I try to squeeze in an underground song, and you can tell the crowd, that some are moving away, or some, they're open to it.
Yeah.
But a lot of them are not educated. They like to listen to R&B
Right.
that they've heard 2 million times. So then you're like, okay, look, let me get back to my commercial R&B. So then that's
Right.
what you got to do. Yeah, absolutely.
So you sort of
absolutely.
test
Now,
the
when you've
waters
got
a bit, you know?
a gig where you're booked for a special event, 40th, 50th, whatever it may be, and you've got all ages there, right? So from 16-year-olds to 67-year-olds.
Of course.
Now, this is where you
Right.
need to be an open format DJ and cater for all. So usually I would start off with something mellow for the younger ones, because the young ones, they dance, they just listen to the music and they're on their phones. And then, so I get that out of the way first.
Right.
And then I get to, I look at the crowd and you see your, 40, 50-year-olds, and I'm like, okay, they're going to love the 80s music. So you drop the 80s music, and then you see all the mums running in, and they're dancing to all that, and then I just keep going, just go with it. So keep playing that, and then you try out a little bit of 90s house or something. Then you get that crowd coming in, and then once you do that, also you get people coming up to you. Once you drop, say, 90s house, they're like, "Oh, do you have beach ball, or do you have, right in the night?" Oh, okay, yeah, I know what you want. So then I start going with that, and it's actually not hard to read the crowd. I look at the ages and I'm like, I automatically know what they like. Drop a track, they like that, so I just keep playing that sort of style. Yeah.
So
My
what's your
signature
sound?
is, okay.
Yeah.
Soul, funk, disco, and house. They are the genres that. So even when I'm playing house, it's funky house or disco house. It's all inspired by the soul funk disco, soulful house. It's all incorporated. It's all
Right.
That's something that. That's where my heart is.
So what do you think makes Melbourne special for DJs?
Okay, that's a bit of a hard one. I just say special. Well, there are a lot of DJs in Melbourne at the moment. I guess that I think to stand out as a DJ, stick to your genre and stick to what you like, really, because when you play what you love, you shine. You literally shine. So I think that's probably the only thing I would say. It's really hard because I don't. really like to compare myself with other DJs or talk about other DJs in a way, because everyone's got their own identity and everyone's got their
No,
own,
absolutely.
yeah, their own style.
Their own
Yeah,
unique
I just
style and
prefer to just talk about what I like to do. Yeah, yeah.
all right. No, no, of course, like that's completely fine. And so how has the Melbourne DJ
Oh,
scene
okay.
changed
Well,
since you started there?
when I started, there weren't as many female DJs in Melbourne. Now, I'm specifically talking about Melbourne only, not like worldwide, because there are lots of female DJs out there. And I think a lot of
course.
females have just jumped in and just trying to get into DJing business, and it's a good thing, but also it's one of those things where I think now, because of the way the situation is with, a lot of clubs are closing, a lot of bars are closing. There's like so many DJs, but not enough work, and
Right.
yeah, I think it puts pressure on certain DJs as well to actually do this as a full-time job. See, I do this as my career, and I do this full-time. I'm literally working almost every weekend, which I am blessed to be doing that. It's truly like, it's, people say, oh, how do you survive? How do you live on just DJing? And I'm like, you know what? When you've got the passion for it, the work just comes to you. I actually do not look for work. It just comes to me, and And
It
I
manifests
think because,
itself, doesn't
I
it?
just love what I do, and it's just one of those things where God is there. He's helping me. Yeah, he's.
Amen.
So,
Amen to that. That's a beautiful thing. So, do you have, what kind of venues do you enjoy playing the
So
most?
I love playing at Chasers. Big stage, huge crowd, great venue.
Right.
Yeah, great. Yeah, shout out to
Shout outs
Martha
to Chasers
and Pat.
Nightclub.
Yeah,
One of the best.
great
And
venue. And such a beautiful venue, iconic.
oh,
It's been
beautiful.
around for many years. Sound system is phenomenal, and it's always a pleasure. Yeah,
Absolutely.
DJing on the stage of Chasers.
So I was going to ask, what makes a venue special for you as a DJ? So obviously, it's good sound system,
Great,
good
yeah,
atmosphere, good
absolutely.
vibes,
And
things like
just
this.
being welcomed, and the owners, being welcoming you into their club, and sometimes you don't actually get to meet the owners and liaise with them, but I do know Martha. She's such a beautiful person, and she's always praised me, and it just makes it easier when you go into a venue. You already know half the people there. It just feels like home. Yeah,
So do you remember some unforgettable nights you played at Chasers?
yeah, there's been a few nights. Yeah, I did an R&B gig, which was it could have been about 7 years ago, and so there were live artists playing as well on that night. Wiz and Dash were one of the duo, the rap hip hopping. Yeah, Wiz and Dash, and
Wiz and
also
Dash.
Eric Palou from Culture. Do you remember the 90s R&B group Culture? Yeah. So Eric was also.
Yeah, I do.
I'd known Eric personally, and I got him to perform on the night as well. There was a few artists performing, and that was actually a really good night. I really enjoyed that, because I got to work with bands, and I've never done that before. So that was really something that opened me up to the DJ and live band thing.
Awesome.
And after that, that moment, it actually inspired me to run my own night. So I did actually run a night in Williamstown for a couple of years before the COVID thing, and yeah, it used to have live bands there, and I DJ'd there, and had guest DJs and so forth. Look, really great night. It picked up and was going really well, and then obviously COVID hit and things changed, and then we did all that live streaming on socials, which was actually, it worked in my favor, mind you, because once everyone did that, we got to show people who we are, because really we do gigs and so forth, but no one actually knows what you do. So then when we did the live streaming, I started getting all these followers and gigs and everything. So when COVID, obviously restrictions were lifted and everyone was allowed to work again, I stopped doing that gig, running the bar, and because I had so much work, at bars and private gigs. So then I focused on that, and if it wasn't for the COVID, which was kind of like a blessing in disguise, that actually helped me become popular or known to a lot of to everyone out there.
Wow.
So it gave me a lot of exposure.
That's beautiful. Yeah, well.
See, from a bad situation,
thing,
like that's what I was saying. You try to see the positive. So that's right. Because it was
positive
a bad
and everything,
thing,
right?
But you think, okay, look, we're stuck at home. Let's make use of this and try to use it to our advantage. And that's
absolutely.
Was, like I said, a blessing in disguise.
Absolutely. God bless you. So what does longevity in the DJ world require?
Okay, so just remain humble. If you still love it, as long as you got the passion, keep doing it. Age means nothing, right? I think I said I was class of 89, so you can work out how old I am. But even it doesn't really matter as long as you. Yeah, I'll
35.
I'll take that. As long as you love what you do,
we'll leave it at that.
You got the heart and the passion for it. Keep doing it. There's age means nothing. So I think that's probably the,
absolutely.
Yeah.
As long as you got the passion for it, of course. That's very profound for all those young artists listening right now. That's one of the key identifying factors to why you're going to make it and be successful and have longevity in the game is because you love it. You love what you do. It's what gets you up in the morning. If you're thinking about it. It's like me when I do my hip hop, I get up in the morning thinking about hip hop. I love it,
Absolutely.
My kids love it because I love it. That's how much I love it, So you said something. Absolutely. And you said something about Disco Freaks before.
Okay.
How did Disco Freaks begin?
DJ Freaks is something that came up. We were doing a gig, and we were asked to do a gig. It was actually something that was probably on the horizon anyway, because so the duo, the other DJ that I DJ with is DJ Damien D. So he has been DJing for 30 years or so, and started with vinyl, exceptional DJ, incredible. And I had actually met Damien over 4 years ago. We were actually on the same lineup I think we were performing with Sergeant Slick, who is another phenomenal DJ in the industry, produced phenomenal.
You were saying,
So we were on the lineup, and anyway, he did his set, I did my set, and we're very similar taste, right? And then, we obviously met on the night, and they just hit it off straight away, talking about music and literally same taste. It's incredible how like and I must add that he's younger than me,
Wow.
but he knows just as much as I do, which is quite incredible, really. And anyway, so going back about a year ago, I was asked to perform on some night, and then I introduced him to. So I won't mention who this guy is, but he. I introduced him to Damien, and then he suggested that maybe we should work as a duo instead of doing our solo sets, like under our DJ names. But let's
Names
combine,
individually,
maybe
right?
do it together as a duo. We're like, oh, okay, yeah, it's a good idea. So, and then Damien and I came up with the name, and literally, the rest is history. Disco Freaks, and that's
Disco Freaks.
disco inspires when you see that Disco Freaks, where disco. That's pretty much it. That's what we stand for. Yeah.
Yeah. So how's playing as a duo different from playing solo?
Well, it can be difficult if you don't have the same taste in music. But as I said, because we both got the same taste, it's actually incredible to be able to DJ alongside somebody that literally knows my style and vice versa. And we've got this, we've got this,
You guys are on one page.
chemistry going on where we just know what's next. He'll be like, okay, so you're going to play this? I go, yeah, that's what I was going to play. And then I go, look, okay, you play this next. Yeah, that's what I was going to play. So it's actually really amazing playing with somebody, and it's not easy to do. Not many people can do it, but we really got the same taste, and it makes it really easy, and I absolutely love it. I love playing as a duo. It's actually incredible, and time flies as well when you're playing as a duo, because it's like one, and I can't wait to put my song in, Yeah.
Time flies when you're having fun. Yeah, absolutely. So this is the part now where we're getting where it's called the fun section. All right. So thank you for being patient, but you've been phenomenal so far, and I've got a really good insight into what makes you as a person. You're extraordinary. You're different from the different people. But if your life had a soundtrack, what song would be playing right now?
Oh, jeez, you know what? There's so many songs that I could choose, but I'm gonna stick with Midas Touch. Midas Touch, because
Nice.
I've got the Midas Touch. Everything you touch turns to gold. Because I really like to
God bless
create
you.
gold. Like create magic wherever I go. And when you say touching the buttons, dropping the next track, I want to make sure that people just, feel. Yeah, so
so smart.
That's me. Midas Touch, and that's a funk track, by the way. Everyone would know it. Everyone would know that.
Beautiful. All right. Now, of course, I know that song very well, but I would say that, like it's more of an alchemist, pressing buttons, turning that feeling of love that you have for your craft into gold, which represents the frequency that people feel and hear, and so you're pretty much like creating gold
through
out of thin air.
Yes,
That's a beautiful thing, through your music, of course. What was the first record you fell in love with?
Well, I know the first record I bought. First record I fell in love with. Honestly, I think it is Michael Jackson, Off the Wall. Because that just represents disco, and that's, when he left the Jacksons and he went solo, it's phenomenal.
Mm.
You know, I can't speak highly enough of the album. It's literally one of the greatest albums of all time to date. Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely. I agree. That was his breakout album, and that's when
yeah.
we first did the moonwalk
It,
as well, and that's when he like surprised everybody, surprised the whole world, and everyone
oh
was
yeah,
all
he
eyes on
was
Michael
the
Jackson at that
ultimate,
time.
hands down.
Um, absolutely. So, what song always fills your dance
There's a
floor?
lot. I could talk about last night what filled the dance floor. It was quite a lot as well.
Yeah.
But one song that you know, because my crowd, it really depends on the crowd. You know, everyone's got a favorite song. But last night
Of
was
course.
Ain't No, hang on, yeah, it was Ain't No Stopping Us Now by McFadden and Whitehead. So that one was yeah,
Nice.
they loved it and coming up to me, oh yeah, like oh I've got a special memory of this song. So yeah, so I even heard a story of one of the guests that was telling me why they love that song and that it's the ultimate track. So yeah, that was really good. Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
that's a beautiful thing.
Dream
Dream
venue.
venue to play.
See, I don't know. Everything's closing these days. I don't even know. I just heard that the Emerson, I've played before, but I heard the Emerson is uniting or closing or something's going on with them. There's always, yeah.
Or more actually specifically, dream venue
Yeah,
to play
yeah,
or to
okay.
play again.
Well, you know what? I always love playing at Chasers, so I'm gonna just say Chasers, yeah, yeah. And I
Chases.
like to support the ones that I
Yeah,
love
beautiful.
because I love Martha. I'm gonna give her a plug as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Why not?
Oh,
Small club or big festival.
yeah. Well, small club, you got the intimacy, but I reckon I think a
Right.
festival would be amazing. Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. So you're obviously a vinyl girl. So we know that for sure. So I was going to say vinyl or USB, but I
I
definitely know
love,
you're a
I
vinyl
love
girl.
vinyl. I love vinyl, but I won't be doing vinyl in my sets. I'll be doing digital, 100%. Yeah, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah,
Is that
beautiful.
all the remixes you get now, you can't find everything on vinyl. And if you do, you'll be spending $50, $60 just for a record. So just think about this, right? If you're doing a set and you've got, like, say, you need at least, say, 15 songs, right, for the hour. And I need to buy
All right.
those 15 records. Just imagine how much I'll be spending if it's between $30 to $50 per record. Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly,
I'll go
exactly.
broke
So there's
by the
no
end of
point. And these days, I
it.
buy everything digitally, and you can buy, music wave file for $3.
The
So
waveform.
you can work
Yeah,
out.
beautiful. All right, here's a good one for you. Here's a good one for you. Soul, house, funk, or R&B? I already know the answer. I already know the answer, but it's
AKA
funk.
DJ
Yeah,
Phunkee.
absolutely. Funky frequencies. Hell yeah.
Oh,
Morning
definitely night
person or
person.
night person?
Definitely, yeah.
Coffee before a gig
Oh,
or after a
yeah.
gig?
After, after.
What
Sorry,
decade of
what?
music speaks to you the most?
Oh,
70s. What decade of music speaks to you the most?
80s,
70s or
80s,
80s or 90s?
80s. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a beautiful era. What song instantly
Oh,
lifts your mood?
if I'm thinking soul, I'm thinking Ain't Nobody, Shaka Khan. Loves me better.
Ain't nobody.
That's the one.
Yeah, if DJ
I am
Phunkee had a
pink.
color, what color would she be?
Pink is my color. Yeah. Yeah.
That's yeah. If groove had a shape,
Disco ball.
what shape would it be? Absolutely, 100% for sure. Now, if your younger self saw you DJing today,
Keep
what would
going,
she
girl.
say?
You're killing it.
Nice. One word that describes who you're becoming right now.
That's actually a hard one. Who I am becoming right now. I'm becoming.
Yes,
Oh, really?
I've got a word for you, but you
I'm
say your
becoming.
word
I'll pick this
first.
one.
Yeah, say
I'm
your word
actually
first.
intrigued.
All right, all right. I was gonna
I
say
would
legend.
never call myself a legend, but
Yeah,
I'll take that. I'll
absolutely.
take that.
No, but that's the thing. That's a beautiful thing. I always tell people, like, never call yourself a master.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
other
yeah.
people will
Yes.
say that about you. You know, I always say that to my homeboys and homegirls.
Yeah.
Never say that about yourself. Let other people say that. And that's so true. In many circles that I've asked your name about, like that's
Yeah.
what comes
Okay.
up the most,
Wow.
like legend,
You know what? All I'd love to be is
So,
inspired by, like I want people to be inspired by me, right? And to be
they
driven
are.
and
They
look at me
are
and say, you
already.
know what, geez, she looks like she's having so much fun. I want to do what she does, because honestly, like it doesn't even feel like you're
Right.
working when you love what you do, and I I can play for hours. I can just
Absolutely.
go on and DJ, and I don't care how tired my feet
Yeah.
are at the end of the night. I am just every song that I drop, I love, and this is how I play. Like every song that I'm about to play, I'm like, you know what? I gotta love it. If I don't love it, I'm not gonna drop it. So I don't do fillers, I'm like, oh
Right.
yeah, I just put whatever. No. There are so many songs in the world. I'm
Yeah.
here to play and play
That's
what
old
I
school.
love. And every song that I play, I love. Yeah, love it. Gotta feel it. Yeah.
That's old school. Now, what has DJing taught you
Okay,
about
so
people, though?
it's taught me that they look. I'm gonna focus on when people approach
The
me
positives.
when I DJ. First of all, they got no idea what DJs do, and they think you're just up there and you just pressing a couple of buttons. It's not pre-recorded. Everything is live.
Presence of buttons,
And
right.
I'd be there queuing up the next track and thinking, well, what should I play next? And you got somebody asking me, oh, do this or do that. Or, okay, and like they're trying to get my attention. I'm like, I can't do this right now. Just hold on a moment. I am working here, even though they don't actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they see you having fun.
Absolutely.
They see you jamming, and they see
think it's
you.
all fun,
Yeah.
but, we do actually work. We are actually, doing something that is work, but it just people don't look at it like that. They just think, God, look at her, she's just playing the music and that, but. You really gotta love what you do.
Absolutely.
And I think because I do love it, they think, oh yes, she's not doing anything there. Yeah, yes I am. Yeah.
Because she's having too much fun. But they don't realize that you having fun, you're also focused on the work. You know what I mean? But your work is fun. So it's fun to
Absolutely.
you, but it seems like you're just having fun.
Absolutely.
It
Yeah,
doesn't seem like
absolutely.
you're working. And that's when you know it's legendary. God bless you. I wanted to talk to you a bit about Kaleidoscope and what that means to you, working with so many talented artists, representing International Women's Day, and for the Cancer Council and a few other beautiful things that's going to be happening on the 8th of March.
Yeah,
Can you talk to us
so
about that a little bit?
Zarina has reached out to me, and I have met her a couple of years ago. We were on the same lineup. She was singing, and whether I went up to her after my set or she came up to me after her set, one way or another, I fell in love with her voice. I'm like, wow, she's amazing, and I had to let her know. I'm one of those women that, you know, acknowledge others, and you know, it's all about supporting other female artists out there. And when you see something, and I saw something in her, she's just the most beautiful person inside and out. And anyway, we're connected, and anyway, she's reached out to me to guest DJ on her next Sunday, the 8th. So Kaleidoscope
Next Sunday,
is
the 8th of March.
name of the album, and she's collaborated with the other female singers, and they sound absolutely amazing, all of them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've had a chance to almost interview every single one of them. You know, so I interviewed Zarina last. I've had Tel, Yolani. All phenomenal people. I've got, coming up, I've got an interview with Ima and Mez and Coco very soon. So, what does Kaleidoscope mean to you? But
a bunch of strong, powerful women uniting, showcasing what they're all about, and supporting a good cause as well. And it's all about women power, and I'm truly blessed to be a part of this. These women are all amazing, and I have, like you said, I know you've interviewed a few of them, and I've heard a few things, and it's so inspiring, and I'm truly blessed to be on the lineup. And this set that I'll be doing is going to be R&B. It's going to be very, like typical R&B style, which is the theme, and so I did play R&B as well. I'm still into that. So Zarina has sent me a few tracks and said, yeah, Mary, just go with the vibe and see how you go in the night. And I'm like, yeah, it's going to be beautiful.
It's going to be a beautiful thing.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I've already got my ticket. I can't wait. Like the one thing I pride myself as a man doing is representing, like artists and women in our culture too, which is very important. I think it's up to the men to lift each other up and to lift women up too. Like behind every great man there's a great woman, but also it's time for the women to shine too in their artistry. And that's what I believe, being raised by a single woman myself, by a single mom. You know what I mean? I think it's time for us to lift our women up. You know what I mean? Give them, like as much support as they need, especially around International Women's Day. So I think it's going to be a beautiful night. It's going to be a great location. It's going to be phenomenal atmosphere. So
Absolutely.
I definitely support it 100%.
It's going to be amazing, and I'm truly blessed to be on the lineup, and I just want everybody to come and support. It's for a beautiful cause, and most beautiful singers on the lineup, and I'd love to see you all there.
Absolutely.
Hopefully you can come and see us and have a good time with us, and just connect. It's all about women supporting other women, and therefore we can just grow together, and it's just something beautiful. You do something beautiful, and you'll be rewarded in other ways.
Absolutely. So what does staying authentic mean to you?
So I think, don't forget where you come from. Don't change for anyone. Follow your heart. If it feels right, it is right. Don't act on impulse. These are
Amen.
my words of wisdom, I guess, through personal experience and
Absolutely.
even in the industry. So yeah, stay true to yourself and
Mm.
stay positive always.
Absolutely. I always tell my peoples, stay grounded in faith as well. Like
Oh,
I'm lucky to be alive, to be honest with you, sis. You know what I mean? I've survived so many life or death situations,
oh,
back in the day, running the streets, turning my life around, like from such a
mm,
negative, deep, dark path to
oh,
having my Lord and Savior
yeah,
Jesus Christ lift me up from all that, and turning my life around into a positive, inspirational person, helping others stay positive and grounded.
oh,
And yeah,
absolutely,
I think faith is one of the biggest things that people lose these days, especially going into the club scenes and the night, like the music scenes. There's something there that it's about frequencies too, and that's what makes you a special person is because you
yeah,
kept your
yeah,
faith through
yeah.
all
I
this,
I believe
you
in I
know,
believe
and that's a
in
beautiful
God.
thing.
You know, honestly, you need to believe in something. Life will be
Beautiful.
miserable if you have no beliefs.
Mm.
Think about you know when we are here right now. Okay, um, there's
Mm.
the afterlife, and if you didn't have faith, then you think, okay, so when I'm out of this world, where are we going to go? So it's so sad to think that we are just going to be gone and that's it, into nothing. But
Into the
believing
nothing,
that you
you
have an
know.
afterlife and you're going to go to paradise keeps you alive and happy here, on this ground. So so so
Right, right,
it's
you know.
also something that I've also believed in.
Amen.
God. When He's helped me in many ways as well. When I have, obviously, everyone goes through struggles, and when I've been through certain things in my life, I've turned to the Bible, and literally my answers are all there. It's just amazing the power of the Bible.
Amen to that.
If you want if you need an answer,
And the power of
it,
Jesus Christ more than anything, He's the way, the
absolutely,
truth, and the life. And there is no way to heaven except through Him, through His Son,
absolutely, yes,
Jesus Christ,
absolutely. I mean,
Thank God, like, I mean, is directing our life path and is bringing us fruits, of success. Now, speaking of success, what
well,
does success mean to you today?
success is something that you build on your own. Success is hard work,
Mm.
passion, dedication. Anyone can succeed in the world.
Mm.
It's not something where you think, oh, I can't do it, or always have faith. As we say, we believe in God, and
Absolutely.
yeah, just
Amen.
just be positive, I guess. Yeah.
So, what kind of energy do you
Energy.
want to leave
All
behind?
right. So, all right. Look, all I can say is that doesn't matter how old you are. If you've got anything you want to do in life, you're never too old to start. I started in my 40s being a DJ, and I've literally been successful ever since I started, because you put your heart into everything
Mm.
and you will succeed. There's no such thing as failure. And even in saying that, even if you do something and you don't succeed, it doesn't matter. Like, as long as you've tried it, you can only try, and it,
Mm.
it keep going. And if you don't, you can say,
Keep
okay, look,
going.
at least I tried it. Look, I'm not good at it, but then you go on to your next thing, and you'll be successful in whatever you choose if you've got passion and the heart.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Right. And, or even if you don't move on to the next thing, you keep working on that thing
yeah,
that you made a mistake with. Like when I first started doing this hip hop thing, back 20 years ago. Like, well, no one starts off being great. But then I made mistakes and I learned from them and I kept going and perfecting and fine tuning the craft. And over the
Yeah,
years, I became
absolutely.
somebody that people noticed. It's because I love doing it. I love putting and turning poetry into lyric form. And, you know, I love to entertain people. I love to make people smile. I love making people smile, not wanting anything in return, just, you know, showing my real self to the world in
Absolutely.
art form. That's what it was, and people respect that. Like I built that over the years,
Oh
and I
yeah,
think that's what
100%
resonates till this
agree
day.
with you there.
So, so when people hear the name DJ Phunkee years from now,
I want them
what do
to
you want them
remember
to
that
remember?
I was here to educate you and introduce or just bring back the 80s flavor, because really it's literally probably the best music that's ever come out. That I truly believe that. I truly do. I truly
I
believe
truly
80s is, I
believe
mean,
that as well.
not to say that great music didn't come out from, any decade. We're not taking
No, no, we're
away
not
that,
saying that
because
at all.
geez, we had great music coming out
No.
every year. Oh
Yeah,
yes,
90s, 2000s, all the way through till now. Like there's been some like a really great music that's
absolutely.
been
Great
coming
music
out of
coming out
every
even
single era.
today.
But
It's just that
you know,
the best decade is the
yeah,
80s, and when you think of 80s, you think of DJ Phunkee. She was here to educate us and bring back the sound that we all loved and knew, and is literally sampled by
yeah.
everyone. So yeah.
So if there's one message that you want to send out for young girls coming up in the game or getting into DJing today, what would that be?
For
Sincerely,
females, or yeah, females, yeah. Girls, just
yeah,
just go with your heart, follow your passion. Don't be afraid of anything. Don't let others bring you down. If you feel it from here, believe me, you will succeed. And just keep going at it. Just keep doing it, and you'll make it. You will, because people can see that. People can see the love and the passion, and especially if you put your heart into it as well, then you're literally unbreakable. You're on the road to success. So yeah, keep going.
this has been episode 11 of the Zeus Podcast with the incredible Mary Panos, also known as DJ Phunkee. What a beautiful
Thank you so much for
conversation,
having
sis.
me.
Thank you so much. I hope
I've
you've
had a great
enjoyed
time. Thank you
yourself.
so much.
I know I have such a fun time for me, from her beginnings to her journey beyond the decks, from groove to community, from passion to purpose. Fam, this was more than just an interview. It was a conversation about music, about connection. Mary represents what happens when love for music meets dedication and authenticity, when rhythm meets patience, when passion becomes lifelong journey. To everyone watching and listening, make sure you support DJ Phunkee. Follow her journey and show love to the DJs who keep the dance floors alive. We give people their flowers while they can still smell them. This podcast is proudly presented and sponsored by iQuality Online, a platform focused on personal growth, financial awareness, and real world empowerment. I'm your host, Zeus the Prophet. Legacy in hip hop are not spoken into existence, they are lived into existence. And conversations like this are part of the legacy. In the name of the Father, and of the Son,
Yes, yes.
and of the Holy Spirit. Until next ones, until next time, chosen ones, stay grounded, stay sharp, stay evolving,
Thank
and
you
stay
so
in
much
faith.
for having me.
God bless you,
Thank you
Mary.
so much. It's been amazing. I'll see you then. I'll see
I'll
you
see
next
you at
week.
the event. God bless you.
See you. Bye for now. Bye.
Bye.